Several Western countries, including the US, UK and Germany, have decided to withhold funding to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinians. This is after Israel accused 12 United Nations employees of being involved in the October 7th attack. Filipe Lazzarini, the head of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, has expressed shock over this decision by Western nations. Lazzarini has asked representatives of the nations to consider or reconsider this decision, terming the decision a stain on all parties involved and additional collective punishment on Gazans. Earlier, the UNRWA commissioner stated that Israeli authorities provided the humanitarian agency with intel on the alleged involvement of several employees during the attacks, but no further information or evidence regarding their role was shared with the authorities. The nature of their involvement has also not been disclosed so far. The Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong suspended funding to UNRWA on Saturday, conveying deep concerns over the allegations. Ahmed Hussein, Canada's International Development Minister, also announced a temporary pause on any additional funding to UNRWA pending an investigation. Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani also took to social media platform X to announce suspension of aid to the humanitarian agency. Early on Friday, the White House also welcomed calls for investigations against the agency.
Have suspended any outlying or yet to be allocated funds for UNRWA, the UN Relief and Works Agency, pending the results of this investigation. We're obviously going to watch this very closely. We welcome the UN Secretary General and the Commissioner General of UNRWA, their comments today calling for a full investigation.
In contrast, spokesperson for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas criticized the decision by some countries to withhold funding for the body on Saturday.
Step simultaneously taken during the war in Gaza sends a wrong message. There is a war against the Palestinian people. This decision is incorrect and should be stopped immediately. We urge all these countries to repay the UNRWA because it's a humanitarian issue.
The UNRWA was established in 1949 following the first Arab-Israeli war. It provides services like schooling, primary health care and humanitarian aid to Palestinians in Gaza, the West Bank, Jordan and Syria and even Lebanon. Relationship between UNRWA with Israel has deteriorated in the last few days when the United Nations agency claimed that tank shelling hit a shelter for displaced people in Gaza's main southern city of Khan Yunis. We earlier spoke to Scott Lucas from Birmingham. He's a professor of international politics at the Clinton Institute, University College Dublin.
I'm afraid that the politics that we continue to see October the 7th is that the countries that you mentioned do not want to be put in the position of pressing Israel with an open call for ceasefire. They don't want to be put in the position of effectively telling the Israeli war cabinet, including Prime Minister Netanyahu, that's it. You have to stop or there will be serious consequences. So while this revelation about the UN employees is a face saver for Israel, so it can deflect attention, it's a face saver for these countries that rather than focus on what is still the key issue, which is the mass killings which are going on with more than 26,000 people dead in Gaza, the question of all these people, almost 2 million who've been displaced, they can say, oh, well, we've suspended aid to UNRWA, and therefore we've done our bit to try to respond to what is a diversionary, but what they'll call the primary issue of the moment.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.